Hey everybody, Lawrence here with Dirty Basement Terrain, coming at you with another one. Hot glue. Using it again. I want to show you guys how I went from hot glue to fire elementals. This is a classic use. Many others have done this, and I'm just now finally getting around to making one. But fire is an easy thing to make with hot glue. It really is. I want to show you how I go from this to this. I hope you guys stick around. But before we get to it, I want to give a big thank you to my patrons, Dungeon Matron, Corel, and Mia Geek. Your guys' help is always appreciated, and it makes doing this channel a lot easier. So a big thank you. All right, everyone, let's get to it. Okay, first we want to gather up our needed materials. I'm using this picture frame with a glass cover. Grabbing some bases, and of course you want to grab your hot glue sticks. Now you can use either the thinner or the thicker ones. I would suggest the thicker ones for building up the skeleton. Okay, now you can see the skeleton I've already built, and I want to accomplish that similar goal. I want to basically have like a curve to the body itself, so I'm just going to cut angles to the glue sticks, and here, as you can see, I'm using the fatter glue sticks for the skeleton itself, just because it'll give a more sturdy structure to build off of once I'm actually start building it. And again, I'm just cutting at angles to get the curvature that I want for the actual elemental. And once I'm relatively happy with how it looks, I'm just going to glue each individual pieces together with, amazingly enough, hot glue. And you can see I'm just kind of like sealing the edges here with the tip of my hot glue gun. Pretty simple. Now that I've got the spine done, I actually want to start carving out the arms. I want to get the Y shape that you see from the one that's already done. And this is pretty simple. I'm just carving the arms to length, trying to get an idea. But first I want to glue down the spine to the base itself. Just make it easier for me. At least that's what I was thinking. And I want the arms to go out in the Y, so I need to cut a little bit of an angle to it. And I'm using the tip of the hot glue gun to carve melt a channel into the arm so it fits the curvature of the hot glue stick that's actually forming the spine. And there's your Y. Now I want to reinforce this Y, so I'm cutting off small pieces just to basically bridge the gap between the arm and the spine itself. And this is pretty simple. It's just basically you're cutting a little like triangle shaped piece and then hot gluing it into place. Now here I'm actually adding some bulk to the framework of this elemental. What I'm doing is I'm just running up channels of beads of hot glue, but I'm leaving a gap in between each bead so the beads will have time to cool off prior to me adding more. And this will make building up the bulk a lot quicker and easier, because if you just put it all on at one shot, it's just going to turn into this wad of glue and it can run down more than you want it to. So give it a little space, let it cool off prior to adding more. That will make the process of bulking these things up a lot easier. And now here I'm adding more bulk in between those channels that I had run up before. The previous beads of hot glue I had done had time to cool, and now I'm building up more bulk. This actually allows a quicker bulking up time. And of course, I want to add a little more because, it's still a little too thin for my taste. So it's just a matter of building up the bulk until you get to a point where you're happy with how heavy or thick it is. Now I'm going to actually start making flames for these elementals. You can either run a strip of hot glue and then tease it up in the flame-like pattern, or you can do it this way. Just kind of run little thin, quick strips up in a flame-like pattern, making sure to connect at the bottom. I mean, this is a simple and easy way to make hot glue flames. Many others have done it this way, and I'm not arguing with what works in this case because it does work. Once it's all said and done, these make excellent flames. And being that they're on glass and they've had plenty of time to cool off, I think I waited like 10 minutes, they peel off real easy. Yes, you're going to get a lot of wisps and strings, but those are easily cleaned up. But again, it's just a matter of peeling them all off. Now the bases of these flames are just a little too smooth and rounded for me, so I'm going to take the tip of the glue gun here and just kind of like melt in some texture to them, just so it gives a more rough and not quite smooth, rounded appearance. This is a personal preference that I'm doing, and you can skip this if you want. Now I want to add some texture to the elemental itself. Right now it looks great for a water elemental, but for me, not a flame. So I'm going to use the tip of the hot glue gun, and I'm just kind of melting in some channels and some texture into it, just so it's not quite such a watery, smooth, rounded appearance. I will do this until I'm happy with how it looks, and prior to adding flames, like I said, I just don't want that rounded, smooth appearance. Now I'm adding flames. Now here I'm actually melting a small channel in to add some flames. But here's the trick. When you're making flames on the flat glass like I did, they're going to have flat sides. So you're going to want to put two of them together flat to flat so it gives a more natural flame appearance. Fire doesn't have a flat side. But again, just kind of add until I'm happy with the amount of fire that's on it. Now there is one point that you need to remember. If you're actually adding flames something that's at an angle, you're going to want to trim the bottom of the flame to match that angle so the fire actually shoots straight up, because fire tends to go straight up too. Otherwise it may look a little bit off, but trimming it at to match the angle, I mean, you don't have to be exact, just kind of close. And that's exactly what I did. Again, here I'm just adding an extra row, again, just to kind of like bulk out the fire. Just because I didn't want it to be like a straight up mohawk down this thing. And I wanted this thing to be fire, because it's a fire elemental, so I just add to each side of the mohawk, I just had to add a little extra row, just to give it a little more something. I mean, I had the flames anyway, so why not? And once I'm done all this, I'm going to do the exact same process to both arms. It's going to be identical to the head and the spine, so. Now, where all the flames actually meet the body itself, it's a little bit bulky, so I'm going to use the tip of the glue gun here and just kind of texture it a little more and then smooth the transition out, just to make it look a little bit smoother, a better transition. Because if I hadn't, it would have been like this weird lump where I'd actually attach the flames and had to add some extra hot glue. So just trying to smooth it out and make it look better. Now here I want to add some flames coming up the back. So I'm just taking some extra flames here and then just attaching them to the back of the elemental itself. Now I start at the top and work my way down because they're going to overlap some, and it's just easier to get them to overlap properly if you start at the top and work your way down, because the flames are shooting up. And of course, once I get to the bottom one, I will texture the bottom to make the transition smooth. I didn't do it to the others because the bottoms were going to be covered up anyway, so it's like, why texture something that's not going to be seen at all? Okay, now here I actually want to kind of give it like a face, some eyes and a mouth. So I'm just heating up a sculpting tool and a candle here and just kind of melting the hot glue so it has eyes and a mouth. It's a quick and simple, easy thing to do. Alright, now I'm getting ready to the paint stage, and I'm not using a standard primer. I'm actually using a matte sealer because I want to clear, because I want the elemental to have a translucent property, but I also want the paint I'm going to be adding to stick a little bit better. So this is a trick I learned from a Golden Demon winner. Use a matte sealer when you want that. And now it's paint time. I'm using some contrast paste, but you can use whatever you want. I like the contrast because it immediately goes for the cracks and crevices, and I'm just slopping this on because this is the yellow, which is going to be like the inner fire, the hottest part, and just cover it. And I'm not being neat or tidy. I'm just slopping this stuff on because I want everything to be yellow to start off with. Now that I've got it all yellowed up, I'm going to start adding some flames, orange to the flames at a higher points. Just kind of almost like an overbrushing technique, but being that I didn't let the yellow dry at all in between painting, this is a wet blending all but. And where the two colors actually meet, it's going to blend, and the transition from one color to the other is actually going to be a lot smoother by doing it like this. Again, I'm not being as sloppy as I was with the yellow, but I'm not being neat either. I'm just basically trying to get from a certain point and working my way up with all the flames. Or, well, working my way down. And now I'm switching over to my res to get the higher points of the flames. And again, I did not wait for the orange to dry, so it gives a more smooth transition. Because where the two colors meet, they're going to blend. And like I said, it's a wet blending technique. Is it the professional way? No. Is it my way? Yes. But again, I'm just not giving it. I'm just getting the higher points of the flames right now. And I want it to look like it fire. So I'm adding red to all the tips of the flames, any like the higher ridges of the miniature itself, just going for it. Now here I'm actually going to be adding a dark gray to certain, like the higher points of the flames. Because, if you watch fire, you're going to see like smoke, ash, and whatnot coming up through the flames. And this also just gives a little bit of visual interest against all like the bright yellow, orange, and red that this model has. So this is just to break it up slightly. And again, this is just adding like in various, like all the tips of some of the tips of the flames and various points of the model where the hot glue is actually raised really high. And here I'm going to be adding a black. Now I'm going to go to the points of the gray, and at the very tips of it I'm going to add in small spots of black to make it look like there's char coming up. And again, this is just to give it a little more, the model, a little more visual interest against all the bright colors of the yellow, orange, and red. And you will see, like, you know, small chunks of black and ash coming up through fire. So that's what this is for. This little gnome mage brought some backup. I'm actually relatively happy with how these turned out. I've been wanting to make some fire elementals for a while, and since I've been playing around with the hot glue a lot lately, I'm actually really happy with how they did turn out. I know plenty of others have done fire elementals as well, and this is my take on it. Hey everybody, if you made this far, it means you watched the end, and as always, I appreciate it. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more clips, subscribe. If you have an idea about this video, leave a comment down below. If you guys actually try to make one of these, I would love to see pictures of it. I really would. There's a link down to my Discord down below. Come there, post pics. Matter of fact, post pics of anything that you guys are working on. I would love to see it. I love watching other people's projects and builds. It's great. Also, if you come to the Discord, you'll get sneak peek video pictures of whatever current video I'm working on. Because in the Discord, I have a little bit of preview of pictures of in progress of whatever I'm building at the current moment. But again, and as always, guys, remember, when you're making something, monster, terrain, whatever, the only person you got to worry about is you, because it's your terrain.